Good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Best Ever You Global Success Summit. I'm Elizabeth Hamilton-Guarino here with
Kris Fuller. That's right. Hello. Hi. I'm coming to you live this morning from Vernon, BC. I'm out on the West Coast in Canada. So Elizabeth and I are a continent and a coast apart because you tell them where you are.
I'm in Maine. I'm in Falmouth, Maine. And, we've got a really interesting story of how we met, how we arrived at this moment. Right, Kris?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, we met in a group of, I think now it has 400,000 women in it. And Kris, take it away because I
Yeah.
love to tell the story.
Right. So I was it was in the beginning of 2020, January, and I was looking for inspiration from other entrepreneurial women at that time. So I was looking for retreats and I was joining Facebook groups and I was looking for development opportunities and partners and collaborators and all of those things, as well as adding to my skill set. And so in this huge group, as Elizabeth said, 400,000 women, Zoom, funnily enough, here I am on StreamYard like a pro. Oh, was something at that time 2 years ago I hadn't learned or had much experience with yet. And so Elizabeth had put a post saying, who here, I'm the last person on the planet to learn Zoom officially, but who else needs to learn Zoom? Who wants to learn Zoom with me? And people were commenting in and saying, I'm available Tuesday, I'm available next Thursday. And I was like, what are you doing in 14 minutes? And she's like, yes, that's my girl. I'm available. Let's do it. So that's kind of how we started. And it was funny because the first time it was like, no volume me, no picture her. Like we went through all of those growing and learning curves of learning a new skill and not succeeding. But we've archived those and saved those videos. And we obviously got to a point where we could successfully stream together and invite guests and friends. And so fast forward 2 years later, here we are still not Zooming, but StreamYarding today.
StreamYarding, I think we're going to invent that if it's not, but we're StreamYarding to both Facebook and LinkedIn this morning. And we're just really proud that we're doing this. We're really proud of ourselves, but more so, we're really proud of all the amazing guests that we have with us today. I mean, when we said we were going to do this, so many people showed up for us and you as our audience. And so we're going to kick things off right now. But at 11 o'clock, Kris, we have Brittany Wagner.
Yes.
And Brittany Wagner, I'm going to read a little bit here and there. But Brittany Wagner is the breakout star of the hit Netflix docuseries Last Chance You. And she's got a new book out with HCI Books, who's our conference sponsor, called Next Chance You. And so Brittany Wagner is going to help kick us off at 11. And do you want to take the next one, or should I read it?
I do. So just so you folks who are listening and joining in and tuning in, what we're going to do in this morning hour here, we're going to go through and tell you who our 12 speakers are, just the high notes of it. And then Elizabeth and I are going to do our first dive into what does success look like for us, what successes we've had, both individually and together. And we're going to invite you to share with us some of your successes. And then throughout the day, that's the theme of the conference. So we will be speaking to our speakers about what success means, and more specifically, what success means on your terms, because it's very individual. So just to sort of recap the space right now, because we're
kick back wherever you are. Please note that we can't hear you. So if your doorbell rings, if your dog barks, if you need to get up, whatever it is, we can't hear you unless you comment to us. If our dogs bark, if our doorbells ring and everything, we're going to ask for some forgiveness because we are streaming from home. How many new puppies do I have, Kris?
Oh, I think it's 2 officially, but like 12 unofficially, because you're the neighborhood dog. She has a neighbor's lab that comes and does loops in her beautiful back garden. And like every other time there's a photo, I'm like, what dog is that? And she's like, oh, that's so-and-so from down the block. And she tells me the dog name, not the people, but it's so cute because Elizabeth, if you don't know, is a huge, well, all animals, but right now she's got 2 newish puppies that are Harley and Bahama.
I also, just so you know, I do have a cat running around in the background. That is Mel, the podcast kitty. Yeah. She will be here, I promise. And so I just want to let people know, again, just give everybody a pat on the back and a little bit of a break because we're working from home and we're really glad that you're here with us. So, so Brittany Wagner's with us first at 11, and then
at 11:30 we have Sherianna Boyle. So she is an author of many books. Her focus is on emotional detox and self-care practices to really just align your life, your mind, heart, and spirit. So she's an incredible person to have on, and she's at 11:30 with us.
Lovely
I'm
energy.
speaking, just quickly, I'm speaking in Eastern Standard Time because here in BC right now, it is 7 o'clock. So please note that what we're talking about, so when she's on at 10:30, it's actually going to be 8:30 Pacific time, and you'll just have to work out, but your social media will help you figure out the timelines or whatever. So, and you can always watch on the replay too. So if you miss
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, is that important to let
Mhm.
everybody know?
Yeah.
This is free replay. So if you miss a moment or a speaker today or anything like that, please know we're going to post to YouTube. You can always watch these on the social media channels and on besteveryou.com. I totally forgot to let everybody know about besteveryou.com. So we'd love for you to register for the conference. Still, you can do that when you register. We're giving away free prizes and gifts and all this stuff. So you can go to besteveryou.com/global summit and register, and we'd love to have you with us. So at 12 p.m. Eastern time, we have Brian J. Esposito. Brian is a very successful entrepreneur. He's got a lot of stories to share, and he's so, I love his energy, Kris. He's just he's a wealth of information. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have Brian with us. That's going to be a fun chat with him.
Absolutely. So then after Brian, we have the lovely Frank Schaefer, and he's a New York Times bestselling author, and some of his books are Crazy for God and Keeping Faith, a father-son story about love and the United States Marine Corps. And so he's just a really neat guy too. I mean, all of our speakers today, we're so blessed. Like you said, so many people answered our call to action, and we actually extended our day because we just kept saying yes to all of these beautiful souls who wanted to speak with you and I and our audience about success. So we've got Frank at 12:30, which of course is 9:30 Pacific.
Yep. And he's also an HCI author and has a new book that he'll tell us all about. And then we have Erica Commissar, also an HCI author. She's a clinical social worker, and she has a book out called Chicken Little, The Sky Isn't Falling. And it's really fun to talk to her about her book, and kind of like a parenting expert. So both Frank and Erica chat a lot about parenting and relationships and success on terms like that. So she is at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then who? Oh my gosh, Kris Bowler.
That's right.
Kris and I are going to chat together twice, right? Kris, will you tell us?
Yeah, that's right. So we are going to break it down and talk about get down and deep with success, and what are the layers of success and what defines success. So we are going to be talking about a whole bunch of different elements and things in your life to consider, and how do you define success on your terms. And so the first chat with Elizabeth and I is at 1:30 p.m. Then following that, we have Dr. David Fraser coming at 2 o'clock. And he is a leading authority on relationship skills in both your personal and professional life. So,
yeah. And from Scotland. So we promised global, you being global, him being global. So I don't even know what time that is that he's joining us on his time, but I said 2 p.m. Eastern, and he was like, yep, I'm there. So he's live from Scotland. We'll see how that goes. And then we have another, what'd you say?
Oh, I was going to say, it'll be 8 o'clock in the evening or so. I'm trying to do the math. I think they're 6 hours ahead from the East Coast, but in any event, he'll be in his lovely evening time, but we're so pleased to have him join us. But yeah.
And then it's us again at 2:30.
Yeah.
And then Mary Joy, another licensed mental health counselor, and she has a new book out also with HCI, and it's all about codependency. She's got a really interesting background, Kris. She completely shifted gears at age 45.
Yeah, that's my age right now, so that always gets me so excited. Yeah, just level. We like to say level, so I'm level 45. But in any event, at that age, Mary made a huge shift and decided to just turn everything on its head. And we'll let Mary talk about that when it's time to interview her. But she went from a singer-songwriter career and said, no, I'm going to go be a licensed mental health counselor and impact lives that way. So what an incredible story, and the successes around making change at that age in your life, fabulous.
Yeah, she's super peaceful. I just had her on the Best Ever You show, and it was really fun.
That's right.
Do you want to tell us about Laura Berg?
Yes. So she is a professor. In some languages, it's said with a TH, but for anybody who says professor with an S, let me just clear that up for you. Oh, dear. If I'm tripping over words in our first slot.
We're giving you a break.
Okay. Anyways, Laura is a professor, author, entrepreneur. She's a trained therapist, and she's an award-winning parenting expert. So she has tons of accolades, and she's just a really neat spirit as well. She's on at 3:30 Eastern with us, so that's 12:30 Pacific.
And then comes Dr. Margaret Paul. Dr. Margaret Paul, we were talking to her and I asked her if it was fair if we said, did you kind of invent teaching about self-love and self-worth? And she said yes. And we're going to let her have that at 82 years old.
Right.
She spent a lot of time with us for our conference in a pre-record moment. So we're going to air that. And wasn't that an interesting conversation with her?
Yeah. She's been teaching self-love classes since 1967, and she is just a beautiful, beautiful spirit. I told her I wanted her to adopt me. So, Margaret, if you're listening, that's still available. I'm still up for adoption. 45 up for adoption, Margaret.
Well, you said you were going to create it. I'm waiting for your T-shirt. Kris is going to create us a T-shirt that just says "manifesting" on the front. I can't remember what the back said.
No, something beautiful from our chat, but yeah,
so amazing. All right, and then oh gosh, Lisa Tenner. Lisa Tenner. Yes. Have you met Lisa Tenner, Kris?
No, before? I haven't. I haven't met you, but no.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, by the way, we've never met in person because of COVID. Our dream is to meet one day on stage, right? I have this visualization that it's like, and here's Kris and here's Elizabeth, and that's our first time meeting in front of people.
I know.
Wouldn't that be neat?
It would be so neat. And then I have to remember to wear flats and you have to remember to wear heels because we're about 11 inches apart in height, and it doesn't feel like it when we talk on computers because we, all you see is the head and shoulders and whatnot, but I'm 5'10" and I think you're 5'4".
So you wish. If I fluff my hair up, maybe. I think I'm more like 5'2", and the older I get, I'm going in reverse. By the time you meet me, I'll be 4'6".
Aw. So anyways, and I love a good pair of high heels. So it's so funny. So we've been chatting about that. I've sometimes taken clip art and sent pictures of us together, and I've made a little baby Elizabeth beside me. I'm like, is that about accurate? But she sent me pictures with some of your sons. You have 4 sons, are quite tall, and there's your 4 like big, tall, burly young men, all in their early 20s, all in university or newly graduated, I should say. And there's little mama in the middle.
Yeah, not tall. Anyway, but
back to Lisa.
Back to Lisa Tenner. We sidebar a lot. So if you're with us today, you'll see that. We have a lot of fun. So Lisa Tenner actually helped me write my first book with Hay House, Percolate. I said, Lisa, I've got this dream. I have no idea what I'm doing. And she showed up for me. And so Lisa Tenner, if you're listening right now and it's your dream to write a book, you want to listen to Lisa Tenner. Also, part 2 of Lisa Tenner is she has her own book out about journaling. Yeah. So she is really just a really neat person. And knows all about the book industry and all about how to make you as the reader engaged in that book from beginning to end. Very cool.
Yeah. And that's awesome. I love that about Lisa too, that sharing and paying it forward and helping is just something that we value and we love. After Lisa, we have the lovely and talented Ari Devi. She's also one of our international imports for this conference. She's from the UK, and she is a transformational and empowerment coach, and she hosts virtual events much like we do. And in fact, we both spoke at her event just not too long ago. Was it just 2 weeks ago? Man, time flies. But yeah. So we had Ari speaking at the last slot with us today at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then we're going to wrap it up. So that is I'm sorry. We have Denise Zach at 5:30. I almost forgot about Denise there. I'm just wondering if I've gone silent or if Elizabeth has gone silent. But in any event, it looks like I'm still live. I'm going to just check my little messages over here and see if we lost each other or if she just lost me. I'm saying what happened. And I'm still talking in case I'm the one on film. If it's her, well, hope she's still talking and telling you how great the day is going to be. All right, checking back onto my StreamYard. I'm in the show. So Denise Sack is our final speaker, and she is a certified life coach, an author, a meditation instructor, and a yoga teacher. And so she's just another beautiful soul as well for us. We're going to be talking about success all day long, and we can't wait for you to hear our speakers. And again, if you haven't registered for the conference yet, we invite you to go over to besteveryou.com so that you can register. And what registration does is gives you access to all the replays and the opportunity to win giveaways. And we have giveaways from quite a few of our speakers today and giveaways from Elizabeth and myself. So that is our lineup for the day. And you can see all of that within the LinkedIn as well if you go to Elizabeth's page or Best Ever You. And within the Facebook group as well, we've got an event set up. So if you click that event, you can see all the speakers and sort of a little bit about them. So if you're trying to decide and you can't see them all at once, you can take a look there and get the highlights. All right. I wonder if it's still me streaming away, having the time of my life. The Kris show, I don't mind that at all. And I'm just checking with Elizabeth here to see if, again, it's her or me that lost video abilities here. Yeah. So there, I'm sending her a hi and we'll see. And she's writing me back. Or is she? Interesting. So, okay, I'm going to just keep on going. More about what is happening with our day.
Yeah. Did my stream end?
I think we're still going.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sort of.
Okay.
Did it get up?
I hear you great. You went dark and you went away, still. And it was just me. I'm freezing now.
Yeah. Did I get up?
I didn't see you get up. The screen went black. It was just me. I had the live numbers still ticking, so I continued and I finished talking. I finished talking about Denise, and then I said we're going to have a great day talking about success. I said it might be the Kris show because Elizabeth we're still live, but it's me, and so this is one of the things.
Yeah,
this is one of the things that happens.
Well, our whole entire household just like clicked off. Like the power went out and everything. And again, I live in the woods of Maine, so we're trying this. I know it's not a studio or anything like that, but as long as we're live still, I hope. I don't know. Yeah. Users tell us if we're still here with you. Yeah. It says we are, and it says we're going. So okay, where were we?
So I
was talking about Denise. Talk about Denise.
I did. I recapped the rest of the day. I finished up with Ari, and then I talked about Denise as well. So that's the speaker lineup. And then I was just about to say, I'm going to keep going with or without Elizabeth. And then you returned. So
perfect.
That's how great it is. Yeah. So our day is exciting. It is jam-packed. And I had just reminded people and exciting. I had just reminded our listeners and viewers that if they wanted to register so they can catch replays and they can be eligible to win any of the free giveaways today, to register at besteveryou.com. So that was the last reminder I did.
I went out, I got up and I went out to check on the internet. My husband and son who are watching the puppies go, "Are you panicked?" Like, actually, no, I'm not, because I know our audience.
Yeah.
And everybody's cool. And one of the things that happens that I've learned is when you surround yourself with love, it's amazing. Anything can happen. So people follow your lovingly success and so forth and love you when things happen. So I'm really grateful. And I wanted to say hello. We have a lot of comments, Kris, and you can't maybe see them, but Kathy and Ari and everybody joining us today, we're just so grateful that you're here. Okay. So what, Kris, is success on your terms?
Yeah, so that is the question that we will be discussing with all of our speakers today. And when we have our speaking slots this afternoon, we are going to dive deeper into that, because success has a lot of layers. Success is so many different pieces and parts of your life, different pieces and parts of your professional life, personal life, all of the parts of you. And so it's not an easy question to answer. That said, this morning, I know we're going to talk about some tangible things that have been a success for you and I, share some of the projects that you and I have created together, and a few of the individual ones that we have either coming up or whatever, because we really want to celebrate success today as well. And so our viewers and our watchers and our listeners at home or in their office or wherever you are, we want to invite you to share with us what your successes are, big and little. Even if you're, just starting something, or you have an idea about something, or you're in step one. If you feel that that's something you're called to do, share it with us. Share it with our crew and our crowd and our audience here today, because that is something we rise by lifting each other. And, I'm going to cheer you on until it's my time to shine is one of my philosophies with Best Ever You. And I think that's just true for both of us. So success, lots of things.
And then one of the things that I like too is when we are doing things too, people support us. So it just goes kind of round and round. And again, it doesn't have to be something that you necessarily do in terms of write a book or something like that. It could be successful well-being. There's so many definitions and layers, facets, and categories that success can go into, from relationships, career, home, gardening. I know I just planted a tree yesterday. I'm feeling successful on that. So I think it's really important that we have that. But one of the things that you and I wanted to do when we first met was write
Mhm.
and write journals and write
Mhm.
books and do that. Can I hold up one of our books, Kris? Should I hold up the latest one? I just
Sure. Yeah. Great idea.
Okay, so we've got children's books, we've got journals, we've got self-help things. But the first one that is I don't know, it's new. I love this book. It's called
Yeah.
Pinky Doodle Dance. I just wanted to show everybody Pinky
Yeah.
Doodle Dance.
It's really cute, and we co-wrote it together, and then we've got a beautiful illustrator, and the team at Waldorf Publishing always serves us so beautifully. And it's the second in the series for us, and it just launched on October 14th, so like literally 6 days ago. And so yeah, I've got my little copy here. I've got a bunch at home, and it is just the cutest little book. So let me just read the first 2 pages
Oh,
because
please
I
do.
love it.
I'll hold it up. Hang on.
Okay,
Get with
perfect.
it. There you go.
Here we go. The forest is buzzing with all sorts of cheer. The Pinky Doodle dance will soon be here. Oh, Elizabeth's on the
Oh,
pre-game
I like
page.
Sorry. Welcome. Sorry, this one. I went ahead.
That's all right. Pinky can't wait for all of the fun, costumes, sparkles, and dancing a ton.
And now the next page.
Now you got
There
it.
we
Yeah.
go. Welcome.
Decorations, invites, and music will play. Streamers and beautiful lights on display. The forest will twinkle like stars in the sky. There's so much to do, Pinky says. Oh my. And so the story continues that her forest friends come to the help and rescue, and they decorate and set up everything for the dance together. And then they have a fun little dance. They wear their nicest, funnest, best clothes. And yeah, show your favorite page. I know who
I
yours.
have. You knew I was going to it. So
Yeah,
here's
I
the
did.
porcupine.
Yeah.
And he's a character in our books that people just have. He's taken off. Pete the
Uh-huh.
Porcupine. He's right there.
And
that?
the page for him is Porcupine Pete is a sharply dressed critter. I love shiny shoes and suspenders with glitter. And so there he is in his purple and sparkly suspenders. And my favorite page is Murphy the Moose because he's a cool break dancer. So I know Elizabeth's going to hold that picture up too, and I'll read that one. It says, Murphy the Moose gets his time to shine. His breakdancing moves are incredibly fine. He's so cool. He's got those sunglasses on, and I do love that his shirt says Maine. So a little shout out for Elizabeth there, Maine. Maine the Moose. So yeah, Pinky Doodle. And this is one of those things too. Like when we write this children's book, we are like two little kids back and forth on the phone. And I'm like, no, you read that. You read that. I'll be the kid and I'll listen. No, and we to the word because we want the rhyming to be just right and we want it to be enjoyable for the reader. And we just have such a great time doing it. And it's just one of the things. I don't think a lot of people know that we do this children's book series, right? It's kind of because we do so many things. So this is one of the successes that we are sharing. Thank you for letting us share our success with Pinky Doodle today. So here we go. There's the two. The Pinky Doodle dance.
Yeah.
Oh, I have both the dances.
Yeah. Here's Pinky Doodle Bug, the first one. And then here's Pinky Doodle Dance. And Kris, tie this back into Best Ever You for us so people really understand why children's books? Why would we, a self-help professional development, personal development company, write children's books? What is it about these?
Yeah, awesome. So within Pinky Doodle, every time there is a collaborative energy where there's a problem to be solved and friends come to the aid of Pinky Doodle and they work it out and they work together. And so looking at our success and our network and our personal beliefs, I mean, today's a perfect example. We're like, we want to talk about success. We want to bring our friends in, and we've got 14 friends joining us to talk about success. And so our friends have come to our call. And so when we flip the script to put it into a children's perspective, that's exactly what Pinky Doodle focuses on is how can your friends help you? And the other theme that we often see is Pinky Doodle following her dreams. Yeah. And so that's something else.
Dreams fly.
Let your dreams fly. Yeah. At the back of the books, and I do love this, at the back of the books, because she's a Pinky Doodle bug, she loves to doodle and draw. And in the first book, you find out about that, about the intro to Pinky. But at the back of the book, each of the pages says doodle pages. And even though you don't normally write in children's book, there are pages designated for kids to do a little doodling or the grown-ups or whatever. So that's a unique fun thing about
motto right there. Let your dreams fly, be the best you can be.
Yes.
And so she's a little ladybug. She's got all sorts of forest friends. This is one of my favorite pictures too. This is from the book one. And we just want to let you know these are there. And we're figuring out next steps. You know, it's like we say, it's one thing to write the book and have it here, and now we're like, okay, what do we do next? So people are asking us all sorts of questions, and we're having to learn too. They're like, well, what does it cost for both? What does it cost if you
Yeah.
sign both and send
Yeah.
them? And it's like, oh, hadn't thought about that.
And as well, I love the enthusiasm. People are like, what about the next book? Is there going to be a Christmas book? I'm like, yes, but not this year because Christmas is just around the corner.
Yeah,
I think the
year
next
to
one
do.
and we're just flooded with ideas. And if you have an idea for us about what you think Pinky Doodle and her friends should do their next adventure, let us know because we would love to hear from you about that. So,
Perfect. All right.
so
And so where do you want to go to journals from there? Just
I
so we
do, yes, because I love that the Pinky Doodle is like the hottest, newest thing that we're doing. But the first project that we did, and so individually, we've always both been writers and journalers, and we journal about gratitude and we write about our day. We've both run blogs about different topics and whatnot. So creating a journal was something that I think very quickly when we met in that group of 300,000 women, within the week, we continued our friendship and realized we wanted to do projects. And I think it was within 10 days, we said, let's make a journal together.
Yeah.
And so I see you've got it. And so do I.
We discovered our middle names were both Marie where it was over. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But this is probably core to Best Ever You. I think this is our signature journal. It goes with our signature mug, Be Bold, Be Brave, Be You. It goes with our t-shirts and so forth. And in here is that's shiny. There you go. Our 6 principles. Best Ever You was founded on these 6 principles, and the journal teaches them, but does it in a really interesting way with journal prompts. You keep going.
Yeah. So the 6 principles, just really quickly to let you know, is the core of you. That's talking all about your values. The art of you, that's your talents and your skills and things that you're good at. The heart of you, that's your emotions and feelings. The humanity of you, that's your compassion and how you interact with the world around you. And the last 2 are the sport of you, which is your wellness and well-being, and the spirit of you, which is your mental well-being and the peacefulness in your life. So those 6 buckets are the Best Ever You pillars, foundation, and each of those 6
is that right?
Principles. Yeah. Each of those 6 principles, we sort of divided it into chapters, and they each have 8 questions that are designed to be weekly prompts. Now, that said, if you're someone who attacks the book with more fervor and you want to do it faster, it's a self-paced journal. Yeah. But one of the neat things is when we created it, a couple neat things. We have to talk about Sally.
Sally did all the artwork. Sally Huss. If you don't know Sally Huss, she's near and dear to Best Ever You too. She's written over 100 children's books herself, and is a very acclaimed artist. I don't know what the word for that is. Yes. Yeah, world famous artist. So we've got Sally Huss art on our journal, which is cool.
And this is an all color journal too. At least the blue version is. And so the writing prompts you can do weekly. You can do them quicker. You can take more time if you want to. You decide. But with this journal comes access when you buy it. Elizabeth and I did 52 videos where we discuss each and every question and we answer ourselves what the answer would be for us or what that could look like. And the purpose of this journal is to get to know yourself a little deeper in each of those areas, so that you can be a more authentic you and you can connect with really who you are. The more you get to know about yourself, the more you can go forward with a clearer picture of who you are, where you want to go, and what you want. So it's a really cool journal.
A lot of people start these in January. That's fine too. However, it is designed that you can pick it up at any time of the year. So it's not labeled January 1 or anything like that. And the other thing, Kris, do you want to talk about together? Do you want to talk about inventory and how are you feeling today? And is there something in your life creating stress or joy? Because in addition to the prompts, we do that inventory in the journal. And I think that's
exactly.
How are you feeling today?
Yeah. So every time you answer a prompt, there are those 2 couple of questions that, how are you feeling? Is there something in your life creating stress or joy? And it gives you an opportunity to reflect on that and to write about that. And one of the things for me that I have found so important with journaling is when I look back, when I read back over my past journals, I will find that sometimes I reframe things in the present, in the now. I go, I don't think I did my best. That didn't go like this. This didn't go well. And I'll take a journal and I'll take a look back and I'll be like, oh, I really did attack it with my best, or I really did that better than I thought. But I sometimes am hard on myself. So looking back And so taking a note of that, what is causing stress or joy, the purpose of that is for you to be able to reflect back, because, life isn't perfect. And that can really impact how you're answering a question in that moment.
I also I'm going to give away the ending here too.
Yes.
We also have a certificate for you, because
Yes.
we love certificates. I've seen Kris Fuller give herself certificates for watering flowers in her garden.
It's true. I'm a huge celebrator, right? Success on every level. Sometimes I need a little pick-me-up, and I'm like, I've made some certificates and I'm going to award them to myself. I encourage you all to do it.
In here.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, not to the Kris Fuller certificate.
Yeah, that's right. And so after we created the journal in blue, we had requests for different colors. So we've got it in orange with all of Sally's beautiful work as well. And then we have one other style. So I love being the head of the design team. And this is the same journal, same questions, but it's just grayscale, and it's got a beautiful calm ocean. And it's just a little, it's black and gray inside as well. So just a little more calming or soothing. So depending on what your style is, if you like the little wilder pop of color, or if you like something a little calmer, then that journal is available in 3 different styles. So that is our very first project together. That was the thing that sealed the deal, because I would say as well, one of the things I love about working with Elizabeth is, first of all, she compliments me all the time. So fabulous. But what I was really going to say is we have this unique ability to communicate with each other with just complete honesty. And we, at the very beginning, were like, I'm a very direct person. And if you're someone that gets hurt feelings or doesn't, like, it may not work between us. And she was like, oh no, I like that too. I'm going to tell you all day. She's like this. No, that's thumbs down. I'm like, okay, got it. And without hurt feelings, that's one of the things. And if there are ever something that hurts our feelings, right away, we're committed to talking to it. I'm like, talking about it. And so the communication is really what I wanted to highlight there, is what makes our working partnership so amazing. Besides the friendship and the love that we've also developed, because we have now, over the last 2 years, or close to 2 years, our friend anniversary is coming up in January. We've gotten to know each other's families, right? And it's so funny. I love this story. I have her one son, Quaid, is really good with computers and IT stuff, and sometimes I struggle. And so she's like, let me just give you his direct number. I'm like, okay, perfect. And so Elizabeth Hamilton-Guarino, he's Quaid Guarino, but my phone was like, I don't know this name. So he's in my phone as Quaid Guatemala, and I haven't changed it because I think it's delightful. I'm like, I need Guatemala. I need help. She's like, just text Quaid, it'll be fine.
It's funny. He's like, whatever. No one can pronounce my name anyway. Yeah. So, it's funny. They're like QBG all the time. QBG.
There you go.
He's funny. But, one of the things that I like about our journals is that they are tools for your success toolbox. Truly, we've used them. I use this journal. I'm about to go through round 2 of this journal with this year coming up. I think I may actually start this in January to see what that's like. I usually don't start things in January. I usually start in September, but I think I'm going to do a January 1 kind of thing with this.
Yeah, it's time, because that's the other thing too. You and I both did the entire journal when we created it and did that together. And so, but you can redo it because you change, life changes, you're where you are, and how, like, even in the 2 years, the amount of changes Elizabeth and I have both navigated and fielded and have been through. It's incredible when we look back and go, wow, look at all we've done in 2 years, both personally, but also together.
Well, I a lot of things. So, I think we should talk about what's happened in our personal lives. My father passed away just a few days ago. 3 years ago was the time frame. And when I met you, I was grieving, and it was really difficult. And I was like, what do I do next? I don't feel like doing Best Ever You anymore. I don't feel like writing anymore. I don't know. I'm just in grief 100%. And meeting you really changed my life, because you're like, I've got you. And I understand, and I'm going to help you, restore a little bit, and not be alone doing some of the things that you're doing. And it's really, really, really helped me to the point where, like, I have a new book coming out. I didn't know if I was going to write another book or not. And I have a new book coming out with HCI called the Change Guidebook: How to Align Your Heart, Truths, and Energy to Find Success in All Areas of Your Life.
Yeah.
And you've been there with me through writing every word of that. You've seen it.
I have. And I honestly, that's the thing too, right? Our personal lives, when you were telling me, bits and pieces about your dad, I had lost my mom around the same time frame, right? And it was both an October loss. So we have that same parent loss anniversary together. And so that was a commonality that, like, it's a club nobody wants to be in, but it's a
sucks
rite of passage that happens. You lose a parent. And so supporting each other with that and whatnot. But at the same time, this new energy, this new spark of, it's exciting when you meet a new friend, and it's even more exciting when the friend is like very quickly becomes like closer than you could anticipate. I still can't believe that we have not met in person, because it just feels like I've had dinner at your house. It feels like I've had, a dip in your pool and coffee with your boys, and Peter's made me breakfast. It just feels like I've sat with the dogs, because we talk pretty much every day. But yeah, in looking at your journey, because the first book that you wrote, which is now, is it 8 years ago, Percolate?
Yeah.
Coming on 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so at that time, I'm just going to share, Elizabeth was like, I'm kind of in a slump with Percolate. I don't know. Do people care about it? And so I read it and I was like, this is a beautiful book. This is a great message. And in that book, you talk about your dad quite a lot.
Yeah.
And the journey of his health and what that looked like, and how you stayed strong and navigated those changes. And so you're sort of like the change queen. And some changes don't come your way by choice, because you didn't choose that. Nobody chooses that. And so through that and through our journal process, then we had this idea. And again, I never know who to give credit to, because it seems like we just magically arrived there together.
Yeah.
But we started doing a series of journals, and I'm going to hold this up. If you have a Percolate, you should hold it up. But we started doing a little Percolate daily, a gratitude journal. And these are so cute. Inside, they're simple. They just say 5 things I'm grateful for. And then it says, today I am. And you can just write and see. And it was just kind of, again, the next step of journals for us. And then hats off to Percolate Daily. And because of my newfound love for Percolate Daily, at the beginning of our relationship too, I was hosting huge scale events here for women, saying, let's get together, let's talk about mindset, let's talk about finances, let's do all kinds of things to recenter and reground ourselves. And Elizabeth sent me a box of like 200 copies of Percolate. Every woman at that conference got a book. And I did a few pages. We used a few of the quotes and excerpts in our presentation, and sort of injected new life into that, but injected new life into you, Elizabeth. And then
it did. You can't, I couldn't tell, there's reviews on it. The reviews are positive, but I'm like, it just feels like it needs something. And I think it needed you. And it needed energy and people that we're going to talk about it also. And so to me, that was one of the neatest moments with this book, with you featuring it at your event and teaching it. That was like a dream of mine. I'm like, I wish somebody would do that. And you did it. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
And I wish that would have continued. But the last event that I did was March 2020. And it was like that. After that, all of my events were closed, because COVID had newly entered North America. And the hotels and the wineries and the conferences that I had booked were closing, right? They said we can't have people in and all of that. So it made us change gears dramatically. And in some ways, that change, as I look back, was one of those universe blessings for me, because as we were doing projects, before we even got to this sort of like Percolate 2.0, while we were writing that very first journal, that Best Ever You journal, we talked about grief just a moment ago. And I had the unfortunate news that my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer just before that Ladies' Day event. In fact, I did the whole Ladies' Day event with this heavy news on my shoulders. And it wasn't until the end of the conference, one of my co-speakers, in fact, it was my sister, Lisa Wright, she said, I just want to let everyone know Kris has emceed and hosted and put this energy and light and love into this day and not fallen apart. But just 10 days ago, she got the news that her husband has this terminal, horrible cancer. And I was just embraced by that room. It was really special and beautiful, but it was the last live event I did. And then forward to mine and Elizabeth's relationship and doing that journal and having it be such a success. I love that he saw it. Because he did, just to follow up, he did pass away on July 16th, 2020. So we had 5 months together. And again, a blessing in that time. So many, as I look back at the time, it was hard to see them, even though I'm a positive person. And striving for success while caregiving was a really hard juxtaposition for me. And yet there were still parts of me that I'm like, that's who I am. And so Elizabeth, being now my new partner in crime, was there for me every single day. And some days I was like, okay, I'm going to be writing. I remember writing it. Sometimes it's like 3:00 in the morning and I would put some questions together and send them over to you. And you'd wake up and say, you're like, were you working in the middle of the night? I was like, yes, I was, because Ben was up from midnight till 4. And so, and I can't do anything for him, but just when he's up and in pain, it was so frustrating for me sometimes as I'm sitting there going, like staring at him like a cat going, what do I do? And the answer was I really couldn't do anything but be there. But for me to have a little project to just tick, tick on my computer was such a blessing, you know, and then looking at all my events closing, what a blessing that I was able to be home with him. Those 5 months are just some of the most precious times of my life.
Yeah.
And again, with that partnership and that grief, I mean, you were there for me through all the ups and downs.
Yeah. And we're still here for each other. And I think that's what's really quite the blessing in the whole thing, because, you know, it's not like we've stopped grieving in a way. I mean, we're still, there's still moments, there's still thoughts, there's still everything going on. I mean, I can't tell you that a few days ago wasn't very sad.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm not the same person that when you met me in January 2020, I was like on fire, unstoppable. And then the brakes hit me like this for other reasons. And I'm still, you know, working on getting back to who I was, but who I was isn't who I'm going to be. So I've been re-navigating, and journaling has been one of those things. Like I blogged about our entire cancer journey. And in that blog, it talks about things with Elizabeth and I and what it was like for me. And that journaling also has been incredible for me. As I had mentioned earlier, sometimes I look back and go, oh, was that really like this or like that? And in that health journey, now I go, did I even try? Like, what did I just give up? And so when I read back on my blog and my journals and I see all of the love and care and things we did, I'm like, oh no, we did our best. We did our best. And
that with my dad too. We were like, did we do everything we could do? And the answer is yes. And so, it's hard when you start to question yourself. So
and then when you've lost somebody or you've gone through something really big, and then you're sitting there going, okay, but I still want to be successful. I still want to drive forward. I still want to keep going.
My dad would be proud of us.
Yes.
I think Ben would be too.
He absolutely would. Yeah. And so he did get to see not just that journal, but something else. And this is just a little personal sliver for me, is he got to see, I have a young adult fantasy adventure series called Terra Mara. And I actually started writing this book maybe 14 years ago when I was living overseas. And then it kind of went on the back burner, because in those days you had to send a letter to a publisher in the mail and wait. And I think I sent 80 letters. I had a binder for years of all of these loving rejection letters.
I have one of those.
Saying no, no, no. And I finally just was like, okay, forget it. And then when I met Elizabeth in 2020, and she was talking about, well, you had some children's books already done with Sally. So she was talking about her children's books, and we'll get to that in a minute. And I said, oh, I've always wanted to get a book published. I have this story. And she was the one who helped connect me with Waldorf Publishing, and they liked it and they picked me up. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And so another hard year of work, and my first book came out in November 2020. So Ben got to see this book and our journal that went to the #1, the Best Ever You journal.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, story. I love the story. That's such a, if you're looking for something for young adults, you know, young, I don't know, you could a great reader, maybe 10, but up to maybe 14, 15, and so forth.
It's a chapter book with chapters that are a page or two, and it's about 100 pages long. And I'll just give you the back of the book so you get the idea of what it is about.
It's really sweet.
Enchanted rivers and magic Marilias care for the land in Terra Mara. Gardens thrive and humans live in harmony with the water sprites. When the river's power starts to fade, Terra Mara's future is at risk. Mara, a silvery Marilia, is transformed. She has an important destiny to fulfill, but will it be enough to save Terra Mara? Will it? Yes. Yeah. And so it's beautiful. It's a fabulous story, and I am so proud to have that published as well. Yeah. So that was one of the first things too, when Elizabeth and I first met. We're like, let's do this journal. And I said, oh, I also want to author and do this children's book. And she was like, oh, I've done children's books. So now you've got someone that you did.
Yeah, I do. And again, Sally Huss, she's on sallyhuss.com, and she is over 80. She had art galleries, which she doesn't have anymore, but she's written 100 children's books, and I had the honor of doing the last 3 with her. Yeah. And so the first one we did together is called A Lesson for Every Child Learning About Food Allergies. Mm-hmm. And I'm a person with life-threatening food allergies myself. I live my everyday navigating a life-threatening peanut, tree nut, fish, and shellfish allergy. And so I thought, if this is this hard for me, it's got to be really hard for kids, especially going into classrooms and so forth. So this book is about a child who goes into a classroom and tells the class, with the permission from his parents, all about his food allergies. And it's very sweet, and it's endorsed by the Medical Alert Foundation. It's endorsed by Fact, Fair, everybody. It's just a lovely children's book. There's the Medical Alert on him. So just a really sweet book. And then we have two other ones. We have a self-confidence book called Self-Confident Sandy, which is really cute. And people wonder why she can do the things she can do. And she's really sweet about it. And she teaches other people about success and collaboration. And she's just a sweet, sweet girl. And then we have Best Ever You, which is, we're thinking about renaming this book actually, but I don't know if we will, to Being Your Best or something like that. But for right now, it's called Best Ever You. There's a version with an owl and a dog. And it's about Trevor learning about cooperation, being generous, paying attention, and so forth. And so this is a really sweet book about being your best.
Yeah, no, and they're beautiful. And yeah, Sally is an incredible woman. And like you said, 82. I know.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah. Okay. I'll put these away. Just like our books.
So thank you for letting us share our successes with books. I mean, we have other things going on as well, and speaking is one of them. We speak at conferences. We're hosting today's conference on success. And so for us, we thought sharing some of our successes, we're so proud. We're so excited to share the things that we've done with you. And again, if you're someone who has a project that you're working on or something you wish to share, please do. Throughout the day, we're going to hear from our speakers about their success, what it means, what it looks like, and what they have achieved and accomplished. And so it's going to be very exciting. I think, have we talked about all of our projects, at least the journals? Oh, except a couple.
Yeah, well, you find the other journal. I'm going to talk about the podcast. I want to let everybody know we also have the Best Ever You show. And I mostly host that, but you pop in every once in a while and join and co-host. And so it's called the Best Ever You show. You can find that wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're on Spotify, Audible, Apple Podcasts, everywhere. And I think we have over 600 episodes and a couple million downloads. Yeah. So it's been around before podcasts were popular. I used to be like, what am I doing? I don't know who I'm talking to. So it's been around a while, and it's still going, and we're really proud of that. So it's called the Best Ever You show. This whole conference will also be put into audio format over on the podcast as well. Yeah. Did you find our journals?
I did, yes. So two things. One, we actually have over 200 just mostly blank, but they have a lot of that. Today, what are you grateful for? And today I am. And so this little one has a little sleepy gray kitty cat on it. And at the back of our journals, we've got this little Mia Mel. And that is, when we were creating journals, we thought, we're both published authors with stories and books about change and books that are with a written element to it. And so we thought, what are we going to do with these journals? Because if somebody wants to buy one of my 3 books and they type in Kris Fuller on Amazon or wherever, and you get 200 journals. So we thought, well, we need a little pen name that maybe combines the two of us or whatever. And so earlier Elizabeth had mentioned that her podcast kitty, Mel, would be joining us. And she usually does a little appearance in the back of her office. She's the quietest little bug, and she just comes and goes. And Mia is my cat. And so I was like, Mia Mel, isn't that a cute little marriage of our 2 cats? And yet, so if you're looking at our for our journals, you can start with our name and then, or start with Mia Mel journals, but it's just
on Amazon. You can type Mia Mel in and they all pop up. And there's different ones. There's success journals, there's fishing journals, there's journals for dads, moms, there's a signature, be brave, be bold, be you. Yeah. And then this one's newer. This is I Am Brave. I'm going to go ahead and say we aren't positive if we're going to launch something behind this as far as a project goes. But right now the journal is out there. It's called I Am Brave, and it is for kids. Yeah. It's
got some coloring pages, some activity pages, some word search, some blank pages. Yeah, it's a variety of stuff, and designed
for the frog. I love the frog. Yeah, hold on. Frog.
Yeah.
It's so cute. But so we do have journals for children too. So
Yeah.
if you're on a road trip, car trip, or whatever.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about these two is that the price point is just $5.99 on all of our journals.
That's right.
Except for the Best Ever You one, that's a little more.
That's about $7.48 in Canadian, but it's still a
Right.
really good price. I know, every time.
So,
And then this is another one that I love
yeah,
here, right? And it says
really
Your Life
awesome.
Sparkles. And this one does have at the bottom of each page a little thing that says, be thoughtful, be kind, be honest, be marvelous, be powerful. So every page has a reminder for you to be something that you most likely already are. Be your best, be accountable, be brave. And it's just a lot of blank pages too that says date, and you can just do writing. So these journals have, I like to refer to us as the journal queens. Is that allowed? But
yeah, I don't know. It is now
yeah,
because I agree. And we do a ton of journaling. Hi, Denise. She just said, I love that journal. You could totally do a program around that. Yeah,
yes,
I think our vision for this really is for children in hospitals. I think
yeah.
we would really love to have people purchase this and donate it to children in hospitals.
Mhm.
But I don't know if we're going to do that or not. But
Well, we just have a lot of projects on the go right now
why not?
because yeah, and it's always like that. And we get so excited when we have planning and business meetings. We usually plan for, oh, there's Mel. Hi,
Yeah.
Mel. She just went by. We usually plan for 87 things in a timeline where you can probably actually humanly do 12. or two. And so then we go, okay, that's a great idea, but let's back burner it. I think we were back burnered until 3010 with the number of things we want to do and the ideas that we have,
I'll be
which is
4'2" by then. It'll be great. Hi,
no.
Denise.
Yeah.
Thank you for commenting. Yeah, I love the comments. I love the
Yeah.
interaction.
Yeah.
And more so, we just love you all being here with us. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to share about us because we don't get to do that very often. We really highlight and focus on other people, which is, I
Yes.
think, the name of our game really is not all about us. It's all about
Yeah.
you. Our
Yeah.
focus is you.
Yeah.
But we appreciate when you guys support us. It really matters and means a lot to us. So,
That's right.
anything else about success on your terms, Kris, before we get
Well, I
going?
mean, is that the question for the day? Anything
Yeah.
else? Are you kidding me? Yeah, 7 more hours of it. Success on your terms coming your way. We've got Brittany coming up in about just under 10 minutes here. So I think that's our introduction. That's hello from Kris in BC, Canada, and Elizabeth in Maine. And I think I'm good. I think we could probably sign off and tell people we'll see them back in 5.5 minutes or whatever it is.
When I got up earlier,
Yeah.
I had pants on.
Perfect.
If anybody saw that, I have shorts on to go with my.
I didn't see it, so I don't know if our viewers did, but we always joke about the Zoom outfit too, right? We've got professional on top, and I've had plaid pajama pants. And one of the other summits we did, we were chatting with the gal, and she's like, "I'm not wearing shoes," and she held up a bare foot, and it was really cute. But
at the end of this day, we're going to go back on probably with our glasses on and something maybe and do a little recap and have some fun at the end of the day too. I think we're going to do that. But anyway,
absolutely.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Kris Fuller, thank you for getting up at 7 a.m., crack of dawn to be here. And may you all have just a wonderful conference. And I know our speakers are very excited to be with you today. And I hope everybody gets a lot out of this. And I don't know what else to say. Just thank you.
Yes. Okay. We'll see you again real soon. That's what we say. And bye for now.
Bye.